what's really significant about this is the human eye sees about a 50 millimeter lens. It's that field of view. It instantly evokes a familiar feeling. This is not what the human eye uses as a lens. This is more like a 70 millimeter, bit more of a portrait lens, because instantly you know this is not from our perspective of our character, just subconsciously. And I think that's so smart for them to use those psychological cues. You don't have to understand the language of film, but it makes perfect sense. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, they brought us to Kaled. Oh, no, that's not right. Take me home. Take me back. Good morning, I'm Philip Hartshorn. I'm known for my filmmaking I've done in China. Today, we're going to be reacting to Baldur's Gate 3 opening cinematic and analyzing the cinematic language. I've had a ton of fun with Baldur's Gate, playing with Aaliyah and my friend Sam, as you guys saw on the stream the other day on Twitch. Absolute madness, absolute chaos, and amazing. It's a true role-playing D&D experience, and I really think it is a masterpiece. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at the opening cinematic and really break it down and appreciate it. Make sure to check out my other videos on this channel if you want to see more breakdowns from various games and cinematics. And please let me know in the comments, what kind of character did you roll in Baldur's Gate 3, what class, give me all the details, and let's get into it. All right, Larian Studios. Let's see what you cooked up for us. I love how they open with this sort of lore shot of the people bowing down. It's maybe the future that we'll see if the mind flayers get their way. And what a set piece this is, man. I love the gray, almost the blue gray and the reds. It just makes for such a eerie set. And this is creepy right off the bat, just showing how powerful this creature is. Like, just floats around. And of course, we get our character introduction for Lae'zel here. Beautifully rendered. Beautifully rendered. This is an underappreciated cinematic. That's why I want to talk about this. And I love it because from this perspective, boom, we switched to us. So it was kind of cool in the beginning. It's like you thought you might be her. And I love the FPS here. It gives the sense of eeriness and danger, right? Because you see her tied up and you realize you're in the same position. And there's just some great visual storytelling here. You'll notice there's no dialogue. It's very well done. And this is a great shot too, the reaction. Because that reaction right off the bat with Lae'zel here. Again, they can't show our player character because we haven't made them yet, right? And this is pre-rendered. This is very smart to show danger. You know, that's not a good thing, whatever that is. And it brings this sense of kind of classic inevitability and just this anticipation. And it's just like, what is this thing, you know? And again, this is our view, which is very smart. Feeling the same fear as her, being, you know, trapped as well in jail. And like, this is, God, really, really good reaction work here. And I think the Githyanki is a really cool race that they included. And it's just such a cool facial structure and everything. But they did so well to show deep expressions in this structure. And look at even the teeth and everything. Incredibly well put together rendering of all of this. Let's see what happens here. Of course, super uncomfortable, right? God. And just, God, you almost have to look away, right? It's so awful. And then just close her pod right back up. And then, of course, you know, it's coming for you, man. It's just a really smart perspective to show it from. And we'll talk more about this in a second, but it's so cool. Sort of really creative gameplay integration with story, which is really what gaming is. Again, not showing us yet because we haven't made the character. You want to look away, and it just shows, again, this is a powerful foe. You know, beyond the horror of the situation, beyond the just sheer fear of what's happening here, and anticipation. It's good visual storytelling. It's like these beings are powerful. You can't even look away. They can just control your body and everything. So it's kind of cool because it's setting up for later. This is a powerful foe. We're going to have to gain power ourselves to take him out because we can't resist yet. And again, after the only angle we didn't get before was the front of its mouth, right? So now you see that. God, right to the eye. But again, a great transition right there to show that, oh, we've lost vision. It's almost like we go into a dream, right? And now it's design your character. Yeah, and this is just a super smart way to kind of hook the audience, to grip the audience. is to have them go in and say, okay, now you can make your character, choose your class and everything. By the way, one of the best character creators I've ever seen. It was so much fun. Me and Aaliyah spent tons of time on it after the fact. But yeah, fantastically done. I love all the options. The Guardian design too. I'm not fully familiar with what the Guardian's gonna mean later in the story, but awesome. Anyways, let's continue the intro cinematic here. I love what they did there. It's just such a cool way to motivate, to motivate gameplay, to motivate character creation. Again, after you're already kind of interested in the story, it's like, whoa, what's going on with us? They don't just start with character creator before the intro. They kind of split it up. I thought it was very smart. And there's a deceased mind flayer there. Okay, so some interesting visual storytelling. Again, I think this is getting into the mind flayer's way of reproduction has to do with this, and it would seem that maybe they have a short life cycle. Like, there's a lot of questions here. I like how they include that for later, getting you thinking along those lines. And again, they're going to explain some of that. I think this ship design is one of the coolest things, man. This squid aesthetic throughout the whole thing. Again, showing the power of these guys. Being a living ship, it's like, oh, this is one of their number. The ship itself. And of course, we get the first reveal of the city itself, Baldur's Gate. The iconic city. Looks awesome. Amazing reveal here. And I think it's cool that we start within the ship. We already have the stakes. We already have the stakes of the story. We already have the character attachment. And then we're realizing kind of the scope of the story. What's happening? We're just caught in the ship so far. It's claustrophobic, trapped in this cage. And then it's like, oh, okay. These guys got bigger plans than us. They're attacking the city. And I love this idea of the bell tower. Where you're like, this guy's trying to run up there, and it's so far to get up there, Oh, look at that. Just instantly deletes the... And there you go. Again, visual storytelling. It's so well done. It's like, oh, I guess that's how we got there, right? So it's just kind of answering that question. Very, very well storyboarded. God, and like these creatures are powerful, man. They're just... Again, another dead, deceased mind flayer, telling us they need replacements, right? They need vessels. What a cool shot this is, man. Again, the cityscape, the background vista, and then of course there's another player about to enter onto the tabletop board here. Check it out. Boom. The dragons show up, and I believe they're Githyanki manned dragons. It's just like, what an epic idea, man. We have dragons attacking this alien looking ship in a fantasy city. Just really cool visually. Like, what a combination of visual just spectacle, man. And they're attacking this living ship. Awesome. And this is fantastic. He's falling. What's gonna happen? Of course, the dragon saves him. Beautiful shot there. It just shows the scale of the ship, man. These dragons are enormous. And they're just roasting this thing. I love it. Very well done. It was really smart to again, have that gray blue. Then when it gets lit by the fire, you're going to see in the next scene when you're running around, it gives such a cool visual to add in all those reds and oranges. And that's just such a cool concept, man, where you pull this thing and it teleports. Like, and who knows where we are now. I'm not familiar if you guys know. If you D&D experts know, please tell me the location. Oh, man, I love it. Again, more red versus that gray blue. Really smart on the coloration aspect. Ooh. Oh. I love this. So she's, we're in that room, and they can't show us still, but it's amazing that they're adding the drama to the scene. There's so much happening at once. Like, we're trying to break free. We're trying to get a moment to escape. So it's like, I want the dragons to burn the ship, but not all the way, just enough for me to get out. It's awesome. Nice close up there. This is so cool, man. That idea of ignition, where the flames are just creeping up enough to light it up. It's such a cool idea, man. Such a cool concept to see visually. Man. Look at the detail on that dragon's maw and everything. Just amazingly done. And of course, this is us. We are waking up. And again, we get the FPS. What's really, really cool, what's really significant about this is the human eye sees about a 50 millimeter lens, equivalent of what you would use lensing for a camera. It's 50 millimeter. So what they've done here in this FPS is, it's that field of view, and I think that's really cool because, you know, to us it instantly evokes a familiar feeling of a lensing. And to give a comparison, like this is not what the human eye uses as a lens. This is more like a 70 millimeter, a bit more of a portrait lens, maybe an 80 millimeter. So that's the cool thing, is instantly you know this is not from our perspective of our character, just subconsciously. And I think that's so smart for them to use those kind of subtle psychological cues. You don't have to understand the language of film, but it makes perfect sense. It's just awesome. And that's the beauty of it all. That's the beauty of being able to use these tools to tell stories. Now this, the cool thing about this is that shot could have been from our perspective. Unclear, right? But it could have worked. And I love this shot is just scale. That pull out was so cool because to see like, okay, she's this big. That ship is enormous. Again, the dragons are enormous. It's just so cool. That was a really good thing. I don't know what these big spikes are. I have absolutely no idea, but that's awesome too. Oh, okay. So this, I think, is a third party that's attacking. And correct me if I'm wrong. That's what it appears to be. I don't think they're in. Yeah, these guys are not in league with the Mind Flayers because I know we fight them on the ship. Yeah. But here we are. And again, this is where I was talking about the set design, and to have the fire added into that coloration is so cool. And of course, this would be if you chose Vampire Boy himself, you would have this character come out. But it's cool because that would be the first reveal. Again, so at this point, you're just gaining control of your character, and you are fully invested in what's going on. You have a great understanding of what's going on. And it's cool because from an art design standpoint, they would have planned for the set to have the fire in it and to give that cool little orange punch to it, to bring out the rest of the colors. But, you know, of course, we didn't know that in the opening sequence. But anyways, I just want to say it's amazingly well done. We'll go back and look at it a little bit more in detail, but I absolutely loved it. The game is masterful, like I said. Shout out to Larian Studios, whoever worked on this. Amazing work. Everything from the shot selection to the lensing. Like I said, it's just very well thought out, including the shot, which we talked about. But it's great. I love it. Guys, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more like this. Also follow on Twitch, like I mentioned. But let's take a closer look. Let's go back. There's a few shots that I really wanted to kind of talk about more. Again, this whole intro is awesome, and I want to talk a little bit more about the FPS, or excuse me, not the FPS, the lensing thing I was discussing. So as I mentioned, this again is a little bit closer to probably like a 70 millimeter portrait, but then this is our view, right? So that they've pulled back out a little bit to a little bit closer to what the human eye sees. And you have the blinking vignette too, which is a really cool effect. Again, is they're telling us, without a doubt, this is from your perspective. I love it. It's interesting because the Mind Flayers, like, they almost have this solemnity to what they're doing. Like, these fallen brethren are around him and everything. But man, what a brutal and awful way to kind of reproduce. Makes me wonder, like, how do they get to this level of technology, the Mind Flayers, you know, from their culture and everything? It's unbelievable. God, and like to make that thing translucent too is so smart. Yeah, this shot is just brutal again. But look at the sort of sophistication of lighting here. We have this amazing little kiss light from the red behind her and everything you can see on her hair as well. Ah, God. And they made it such a believable reaction. You know, because you'd be not wanting to look, of course, and close your eye, but there's also this creature on your face. You don't want to look away from it. Threatening. Oh, God, just goes right in. Terrible. Then again, back to that same view. So it's cool because they've reached a consistency with the lensing. So it's okay. This is gonna be the 50 millimeter. Yeah. And that's what's cool is because, you know, a lot of people would have thought, oh, let's open up the angle. Let's go a wider angle to show more. But no, because they're keeping it from what the human eye sees. You get that claustrophobic feeling where he's right in your face, like, it's uncomfortable. And that's what they wanted, right? It's uncomfortable. Get it out of my face. I can't even see. It's in my eye. You know, it's really, really smart, again, for those reasons. And it adds that feeling of being trapped, like you can't escape. So that was really cool. Again, amazing character creator. We could talk about that all day. Yeah, back to the set. And there he is. That's just such a cool reveal too. Like, come on. You know, it's super interesting that with no dialogue in this, so much is conveyed. And again, that's a shout out. Beautiful. Again, just visualization and movement. Ah, even the sound design there is very nice. It's kind of like horn blowing sound. Very eerie sound through a lot of this, and I think it's well done. Yeah, this poor guy too. It's like, oh man, I wish I was a little bit closer to that bell. Not that it would have helped that much, but pure madness. I'm really excited too because I haven't gotten far enough in the game to where I've been inside Baldur's Gate, the city itself. So I'm really excited to get to that point. Oof. That's rough. And man, they grab all these people. So they have a surplus of bodies here. But if anyone knows the lifespan of a Mind Flayer, I'd love to hear that. This shot is the one I wanted to talk about. So this is an amazing shot. Again, notice the camera movement here. It's been very smooth throughout. There's actually a little bit of shaking in this shot in a good way. All it does is it makes it feel like you're running away and you're looking behind you like, oh God, you know, what's that over there? Like, as if you're the one that escaped and you see all these people get taken. Like, oh God, it's right in front of me. They added that little shake. See that? Just those last couple frames. If we go frame by frame there, you can see it. Yeah. Just that little bit of momentum. And there it is. You know, they chose to show that shot to get you to start asking questions like, why are they capturing these people? Interesting, you know? And then there's that reveal. I love how the whole sky changes color too with this. This is interesting because it's so cool to... There's a lot of sci-fi in this. Or I should say a lot of like higher technology seeming visuals in this. It's like we have like a portal showing up, which typically, you know, you think of sci-fi stuff with portal or like futuristic aesthetics and everything, but dragons come out of it, right? That's such a cool clash. And we have this ship that, you know, even though it's a squid, living squid, it looks quite futuristic. It looks like a spaceship almost, even though it's a squid. So you have pretty much dragons versus a spaceship. And it's just such a crazy intro. And I remember seeing this in like the first trailer, just the few seconds that they showed, and being like, wow, what a crazy clash, you know? And that's just such a cool shot there. Really nice sound design on that ripping open the ship. Jeez. It's interesting too, like I have so many questions, you know, how far can they teleport? That's why I said, like, how did they get to such a high technology? And then how did the dragons know to go here? Like, there's so many questions, right? That was a great shot there. I mean, damn, these dragon riders are, the Githyanki are highly proficient at riding dragons. They don't even have like a saddle or anything. This whole sequence is great too. Like, there's so much happening that's very, you know, movement oriented and movement motivated. Like, for example, boom, there's this huge crash. We see the stuff falling down. He gets hit. The dragon goes down. It shows the danger of it. We crash into the thing. And we show the thing burst open and everything. Like, it's just... I guess what I'm saying is a lot's happening, but you understand it visually because of the movement of the camera and the sound design. You tell exactly what's happening, and it adds danger. It's like, oh, now there's a rock slide, or there's a mountain falling down, and there's dragons, and there's fire, and this ship could crash and everything. It's just like, man, the stakes are high in this rescue. Is it a rescue? I assume because their fellows in there. They're trying to get her out, you know. But I love that they add the drama too of the mind flayer trying to pilot this thing, and he's like, oh, because you know at that point. You don't like him. He put this bug inside your face, but you don't want him to crash either because you're on the ship, right? So it's kind of cool. You're almost like rooting for him just because you're in there. And yeah, he lights up that like tadpole pool. Crazy. Yeah. And that is just such a powerful shot. I love that. Kind of victorious roar. And that's what's cool about the next scene. When you start playing, it's like, we got to get off the ship. We want the dragons to help us, but we can't eat another dragon fire hit either. The ship's going to be destroyed. We got to get off. So I think that's what's really cool about it. And it's ironic that you end up falling off the ship because it's like you could have just jumped or something right away. But yeah, amazingly done. And then back to that, like I said, the kind of human look. Yeah, and it was cool that they saw they actually included the shot here where she looks at you, because this is important for later. She notices that you've also been, you know, tadpoled, whatever you want to call it. Till later, she actually attacks you, and is like, "Oh, are you one of them?" and everything. So it's cool that they included that. It's just nice attention to detail. You know, wasn't needed. Also, really smart if you noticed. This is us over here, right? That's us, but they use a really shallow depth of field here to make sure we're out of focus. Love that, because, you know, can't have our character in a pre-rendered scene. And she falls right down. Yeah, and there's that beautiful, beautiful scale shot. Lovely. And look at this place. It's just a miserable place. Like rivers of red and that looks like Caelid. My God. Just just when you thought it couldn't get worse, they brought us to Caelid. Oh, no. That's not right. Take me home. Take me back. And then there's just hordes of like these little freaks coming at you. It's just very well done. But yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about it. We could continue breaking it down. Maybe we'll do more. Look at more cinematics later. But I am just super impressed with this. I would love to hear what you guys think as well. Everybody's talking about the gameplay on this game. So I did want to come back here and really appreciate this intro. It's very well done from a cinematic standpoint. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you had fun looking at the details of it like me. Or with me, rather. And please, like I said, I'd love to hear about your games, man. I'd love to hear about everything you guys are doing, how far you are in the game and everything. Like I said, I'm pretty early on, but I cannot wait to play more and stream more with you guys. We're also working on Final Fantasy 16 over on Twitch, so this will be some cool programming for you guys to check out. And like I said, we got a wealth of videos on this channel. If you're new, coming over for Baldur's Gate, check some of those out as well. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll talk to you very shortly.